So, very, very interesting conclusion here. The conclusion is this, that the body that we have forces us. It's a very advanced conclusion actually. The body is just a machine. Many of us know this, but to live with that conception, we are totally disidentifying. Now what we are feeling? We are all feeling body is living. Correct? And there is no soul. That's what we have been, that's not only an effect of illusion, and that's what the propaganda also of the fools. This is the propaganda in the society, and you are victim of that propaganda. That I am the body, and the body is living. And when I die, everything is finished. But what's the fact? Is it a fact? No. What is the fact? Body is a machine. And apart from the human life where there is some freedom, in other animal species, you are forced to enjoy according to the body. Correct? You have no freedom actually. Suppose you are in a body of a pig and you say, I will not eat stool. That is not possible. You have to eat stool. Is it possible that you not eat stool? I am in a body of a pig, I will not eat. No. You have to eat stool. कर सकते हो भाई? जैसे they say, money, money, money sweeter than honey. Now human being will like money. That is very sweet for us. For a pig, something else is sweet. He can't help it. Nothing can be done. He is forced. So, the vehicle that we get practically determines the kind of things which will be sweet for us. We are forced. We are in the condition. Then how to resolve? Now, as I said previously, animals are undergoing what is known as experiential learning. The body is given a machine, and the machine works in a particular way, and you just sit and watch. You just can't do anything. Your control, I don't know how much control is there. Any control is there for animal? You show a bone, he has to run. Correct? They have, even medically they say, their behavior is well governed. We read some experiments, we read. The rats and all, so many experiments. They will put food and they will ring a bell. Okay? They will do that for a few days. Then one day, they will not bring food, but they will ring the bell. An animal mouth will start salivating, because now he connects the two. So you can do all kind of experiments in the animals. But a human being is there, even ring a bell, the food is not there. He will change. But animal behavior is almost like a machine. Therefore, some people in some cultures have come to a wrong conclusion. They say that animals actually show life, but there is no life there. Life is only in human being, and therefore they justify eating meat, eating animal. They justify in this way. They say there is appearance of life, but there is no feeling. It's just like a robot. Externally, animal behaves like a robot. Therefore, Shruti Praman. Pratyaksha Praman, you can make mistakes sometimes. They make this conclusion, and more or less because of the different observations they make of an animal, they just behave like a machine actually, without showing any symptoms of any freedom. So if we are irresponsible human form body, will be pushed to an animal body. In an animal body, it will just work like a machine, and you have no freedom. And one machine after another machine, other machine. But we get a Shruti from the Shastra, which is not easy to see, that actually animals are living. It's not a machine. That's why so many people have animals at home. And whatever the reason, they have so much affection also for them, correct? Practically all the videos on Facebook, 90% videos on Facebook are cat videos. And a cat, you see, 90% video are, they say, Facebook people sit to watch cat videos. They see some cats, one small cat, they're coming out of, they put inside a cap or something, they'll put 4 cats in a small container. And why the people feel so much? You say, no, it is just a machine. Toy. It is not a toy. It is not a toy. There is living force inside that. So this is a very differentiating. Wherever we see, then how do you say that animal is not just a machine? I give you an argument. Whenever we see matter is organizing itself, living entity is there. Matter has no power to organize itself. They gave a funny proposal against, because there was a person called Kelvin who gave the entropy. Now, according to Kelvin, any system, if you leave on its own, disorganizes itself. It's a law. Entropy has a number also, capital E. It's a accepted phenomena. Huh? Capital S. Take it. Capital S. Take it. And now what happens? So if you leave a system, just like this room we have organized in a certain way, you leave and come after 100 years, do you think it will be more organized? Rather, what organization is left, that will also be broken. Because suppose the place shakes a little, some wind comes here and then comes, the whole things will become disorganized, not organized. What do you say? You pile up bricks and keep them in an arranged order and leave it for some time and come after 10 years. No, something will fall on here, something will fall on there. Correct? In a room you have sheet of papers, you arrange them neatly and leave it. And so you have some time where rain, wind, people come, what things become disorganized. On its own a system, without people, on its own a system without any intervention become disorganized, not organized. Correct? That is the law of entropy. So when you ask this question, that what you are saying now contradicts Darwin theory. The Darwin theory says that system on its own became organized. He said that's a stupid theory. He himself said. He said, if you think yourself, if by deeply think by science, you will come to know God exists. Because there has to be somebody who organizes thing. On its own, he says, on its own chemicals organize, they form amino acids. On its own amino acids combine, form proteins. No, that's nonsense. It does not happen. The scientists came to this riddle actually, against how they can work against the law. Then they said, the solution is this, because energy is coming from the sun. If it is a closed system, the system should become disorganized. But energy is coming from outside, that is resulting in organization. It's a cheating. It's a cheating. Just like I give you the example, if I put 100 monkeys and are typing a letter, even though energy has been put into the system, they will not be able to bring anything sensible in a letter. Correct? 100 will give you 1 billion monkeys. Can they make one line which is readable? Challenge. I am therefore deciding to go to this place. इतना आएगा आपको? उतना भी नहीं आएगा. उसका ही probability बहुत कम है. उसका ही probability बहुत कम है कि एक sensible line आएगा. They will not be able to do. So blind forces of nature will not be able to organize matter. Okay? Therefore, because when you see the body is there with trillions of cells in an animal which is organized in order, soul is there. It has to be intervention of the soul and God. On its own, matter cannot organize itself. Does it make sense or not? Similarly, there's the same reason we say The life is there in the fetus. They say we can kill somebody. When my child had the Down syndrome, went to the court, I want to kill it. The court says no, luckily we can't kill. But so many times around the world it is like that. They see smallest of defects. Nowadays they do scan. Kill it, kill it, kill it. That as good as the child you have, can you kill it? Just because he is blind? What way it is different? Isn't it both equally sinful? Suppose you are born with a child which is blind, we should kill him? Poor fellow. So how can you kill a fetus in the womb which is blind? They see nowadays some defect. Kill, kill, kill. Nowadays it has become a joke. So bad it is. How can you kill? You cannot kill. It's the movement of conception, life is there. Why? Because matter cannot organize itself without the presence of soul and God. It cannot. It cannot organize itself. Correct? Mamai vamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha mana shashtani indriyani prakristani karshati. What is the shloka? Dharite jagat. Yayedam dharite jagat. Which shloka it comes? Think of it. So, actually the souls are sustaining the world. The world, the world is not sustained on its own. Correct? If suppose there were no human beings, no animals, nothing, what is this? It is only dust. It is not dust. It's all well organized. So many places there, no human beings are there, no plants are there. Then what is there? Nothing in it. But even a plant comes there, it starts organizing the matter. From the same place, one seed is there, it will create one kind of flower. From the same soil, another seed is there, which will create another kind of flower. A rose, this, that, 20 flowers you can get in a nursery. All are sitting on the sand. And everything they are drawn from the sand only. Correct? The seed they will be hardly much. All nutrients they have taken from the sand, combined it, organized, and give you different flowers. So what has happened? Accidentally it has happened. Living entity is there. What is it called? Jiva Bhuta Mahabhavo Yayedam Jharate Jaga. Jiva Bhuta. This is Jiva. The living entity is actually sustaining the world because it can do so many things. So this should be very, very nicely understood, and you should be convinced, totally convinced. So therefore, this is a wrong philosophy people have taken to excuse to just imagine how it is, how much sin it is. They kill animals, and this actually it is the appearance of pain. There is no pain. It is appearing like that. Just like a robot, you can design to show pain when you are killing, but actually there is no pain. Then you can dismantle a robot. That justifies giving the cruel thing which you do. And then what is going to happen? Mamsa khadati iti mamasa. Every action is equal opposite reaction. The same now living entity which is in the body of the animal now will get a chance to eat you. Will get a chance or not get a chance? But get a chance to eat you next life. Mamasa khadati. See? Laws of nature will not say, oh, I didn't know, I thought it is a robot only. Laws will show you now what it is. So we will not be spared by the laws of nature. So therefore we should be very careful. And this is a deep realization. Therefore Prabhupada said these things are not just for reading. It's for contemplation and realization. Very recently we read 2 classes before. So this very concept, this body is just a machine, should be contemplated and realized. And Prabhupada says, sometimes it may not work now. Your hand doesn't move. It's a machine. Sometimes machine doesn't work. We have some problems or not? Sometimes we do have problems with the machine. The machine just does not work. Then you have to give it for repair. And sometimes you cannot repair it. So similarly, when finally the body cannot be repaired, you throw this body and take another machine. This is so advanced knowledge for the whole world. This is a great benefit. Therefore, everybody should read Bhagavad Gita. Even though in the first time when we read Bhagavad Gita, the concept becomes clear, but there is no realization. We should keep reading every day again and again and contemplate on these things very deeply. Okay? And then the life should be based on that. Then the life becomes blissful. Actually, the Bhagavad Gita can totally change our life. Sometimes it does happen. For people who have been reading Bhagavad Gita, you do understand the philosophy. Okay? But when you read again, then it becomes deeper in your heart. And you start thinking deeply about certain subject matters. We may be knowing Bhagavad Gita, but then still mind is sometimes dragged by sense gratification. That shows that actually it needs more serious reading. Correct? It has to. And the example is given very nicely. Let us repeat again. Suppose bike is there, or take harmonium is there. Many times people say, I can play, I also can play, or some mridanga, I can play. But what happens? First level we think we know. This is nice. And then what happens next? You try to play. I don't know. First thing, you know that you do not know. So people, first thing they have to know that they don't know who they are. People think, I know I am the body. So 2-3 we put questions to them. Or sometimes some calamity happens in their life. Somebody dies. Oh. Then they start, I don't know who am I. So first thing, the modern civilization, they're actually walking fools. Feel like giving 2 thappad. You know who you are. I know. Then if you know you're going to die. Then so no sense. Little it needs. What kind of questions you have to ask him to help him know that he does not know? See, people in the society are walking around. Do you think when you go to colleges, I go to college, universities, and I go to talk to them? What do you think the professors think there? They think they know. Therefore, they don't come. They think they know. So first thing we have to convince them. How do we convince them they don't know? They should know that they don't know. How do you convince? What you will tell the first few things? Basics of the who am I and certain things. So then what they understand? They know that they don't know. They understand that they don't understand anything. Then they try to learn. Correct? You come, some kirtan is going, you say, I can also play. You try. the devotees play so nicely. I don't know. Correct? Then what happens next stage? I want to learn. Then they want to learn. Now in this stage also very interesting. When you are learning at that time, in the beginning stages, we are very conscious of what you are doing. And then you come to a stage, you don't know that you know. What is it? First stage, you come to know that you don't know. A stage soon comes after enough practice, you don't know that you know. In the sense that kirtan is going, you are playing mridanga without thinking. There is a stage in the beginning, you are thinking and playing. Correct? Tere kata jha, you are playing. Correct? You are struggling. And then what happens? A stage comes, you don't know that you know. In the sense that you are playing mridanga, you are not thinking. It's going on. Sometimes it happens, we sing a prayer, we don't even know we sang all the lines. Pata bhi nahi chalta ki pura I sang though. You say, yeah, sometimes it happens. I ask, did I sing Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya? I don't even know. You don't even know that you know. And you sang also. Correct? It becomes so hardwired, you don't even know that you know. Just like you are walking now. In the beginning, now you don't even know that you know to walk. Because it's natural. It's hardwired into the system. So similarly, in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, first thing you have to convince people what? Kya convince karna pehle? That they don't know. They don't know. They don't know Krishna consciousness. So you have to convince them you don't know. And the next stage, they say, yes, I want to learn Krishna consciousness. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what is life. First thing, they have to know that they don't know. What is life? What is my body? What is going to happen to me? Why I am not happy? This is the first thing. They have to know that they don't know. What is the next stage? What is the next stage you have to convince? Then they start practicing. They chant Hare Krishna. They read Bhagavad Gita. They're trying to understand the philosophy. That stage goes through. But still, even though they're doing that, they're still doing sense gratification. Because still it has not become deep. And then a stage will come, next stage, that you're practicing sincerely. And you're practicing sincerely, very, very sincerely, strictly. And then still more advanced stage will come, that naturally you are averse to sense gratification. Naturally you become tuned to Krishna consciousness. Correct? Naturally you become so attached. Like the gopis are so attached to Krishna. They're so attached to Krishna. You develop intense attachment and desire to serve Krishna. And that becomes part of your system. You don't even know you become a devotee. It becomes part of your system. You get up, you're offering praise to Krishna. It becomes part of your system. Just like mridanga, when those who are expert, they just play. They're not thinking and playing. It becomes natural. Correct? Very naturally we cut off sense gratification. Very naturally we are enjoying service to Krishna. There's the stages we have to go. So what are the stages now? First thing, we have to convince people they don't know. First we have to convince them that they have to know that they don't know what is Krishna consciousness. Then what is the second stage? They try to know what is Krishna consciousness. Okay? They practice. And the third stage, advanced stage comes. They don't know that they know. They're so advanced. It's like gopis say, if we can forget this Krishna, the whole day we are just thinking about him and he doesn't even care about us. If we can forget him, they become so advanced that it becomes totally part of their system. So this is different stages in spiritual advancement. So we should gradually try. Gradually we should try that it becomes part of our life. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Hare